Hi everybody, welcome back to Call of Duty Modern Warfare's Warzone and a mini Royale victory walkthrough. I think this is my first one, definitely, but it's quite a good one because I'm playing with some randoms and it is my best finish to a Battle Royale ever, whether that be PUBG or Warzone or Blackout or anything like that at all. This is my best finish because at the end it's only me left in my team and I have to take on 5 players, a team of 2 and then a final team of 3, and it's all thanks to, as per the title, the RPG and the MP7, especially the RPG at the end for the win, because when you're in a clutch situation it's very difficult to kill a few players in a row with any of the guns in the game. You know, I mean, even if you get the jump on players, if there's 3 players, you'll probably shoot 2 and kill 2, but by the time you've killed them, the 3rd player will have turned around and started returning fire. However, with the RPG and the splash damage it does, you can take out, you know, more than 1 player at a time very, very easily, and that's why I think it is very, very useful in Warzone. But anyway, back to the matter in hand. As you can see, I've jumped a long way to loot up in relative safety. Both my teammates died, now they've come back. I'm being chased, but I've got my custom loadout, which is I've changed to the MP7 and the RPG, and I'm kind of seeing what's going on. Now what I think's happened is the guy who was shooting at me, his mates are in that helicopter, so I think they come down to pick him up, and then they take off. So maybe they're not. I'm not sure why I threw my Molotov cocktail there. But anyway, so what now is I'm just keeping an eye on these guys because I know he's someone over there. Then I see them start to run inside here. Now I'm probably a little bit excited. Managed to get some damage in, got that guy's armor off with my RPG. I think another team has stolen these kills off to my right, so now I think, well, maybe I'm in a little bit of an exposed situation, so I start to move. So let's go back to my loadout. So what have I done now? Traditionally, for the past few months, I've been running with something like an M4A1 or the Grau or the Kilo, and I've kind of been setting it up as a jack of all trades weapon. So it has things like the monolithic suppressor on, 50 or 60 round mags, commando foregrip, fully loaded perk, so it's got all the ammo in it, and then a flip hybrid sight, so it's got like a hollow on it for close range and a 4 times that you flip up for long range, and then I've been, you know, combining that with the RPG, and then my perks tend to be cold-blooded, so you stay off the thermal scopes and ghost, so that you stay off the radar and the heartbeat sensor, and amped, which means you can swap to your RPG faster. However, I've definitely been feeling over the last probably week or so, since the last update, that I haven't been very competitive in one-on-one gunfights. You know, 50-50 gunfights. I kind of feel that I was always losing 50-50s. I mean, don't get me wrong. You know, I had a couple of victories, but almost in every single gunfight in that situation, I was had the drop on the enemy. So I thought I'd mix it up a bit and go back to like the MP7 and the MP5, because these guns are super good at close range. They can't really be beat with anything apart from a shotgun or an RPG. But you don't really want to be firing an RPG at close range. It tends to finish you off as well. And also ditching the combined sight and go, look, because I play solos a lot of the time, most of the engagements I do are at short to medium range. I'm very rarely blatting away at people at long range, because I kind of believe that if someone's at long range, you shouldn't really be shooting at them, because all that you're doing is drawing attention to yourself. because although you might be using a suppressed weapon, people can still hear the thud of that suppressed weapon going off, and they might not see it on the mini-map, but they'll know, wait a minute, you know, there's somebody there, so you should kind of leave them be. Now, that doesn't always work in that kind of final circles where maybe you'll see someone behind a rock in the distance, and if you had a sniper rifle, you know, you could one-shot them and take them out, and that could definitely be an advantage where you can't pepper them with a submachine gun from, you know, 100 meters away. But anyway, that's the idea of going back to something like the to the MP7 or the MP5, especially with the MP7. When you're in that situation when I'm more likely to win, which is, you know, in final circles where it's medium to close range, with the MP7 you can beat people with other guns. So back to the gameplay. So the circles come in, we're sticking together as a squad, and we're doing quite well here, kind of working our way around the circle. And in fact, if we carried on doing this, we would have probably done very, very well indeed. The squad is marking up enemies using, is it up on the D-pad, isn't it? Just to point out where enemies are. And then, you know, we're just playing it nice and slow. Nice and slow. What does happen though, well, actually I think what happens is, it's called a bounty helicopter comes in. I'm not really sure what it's there for. Maybe, I think if you attach something to it, now I'm just guessing here, you get a blueprint or something like that for your gun. I don't know, but it's a bit of a risky thing to do. But I think my teammates wander off and go and do it, because they end up getting into a gunfight and getting killed in a couple of minutes. Now, this point we're doing very well. I'm covering sort of in that direction. I can see the directions my colleagues are looking. Here he comes. Here it comes. Here comes this special helicopter. There's various bullets and everything going off. Now, I saw the guy drop over by the Superstore over there, so I'm just keeping an eye on there, because he may have dropped in with his mates. In fact, I'm pretty sure he dropped in his mates, but I think these guys, they stay over there until I kill them near the end of the game. So this big helicopter's come in. My particular squad mates are behind me doing something. Maybe they've gone after another team as well. See, they're all the way over there now, so I'm like, oh god, well I better go and give them a hand. But as I go over there, they start taking fire. One of them goes down. Then the other one goes down. One's killed, and I'm like, oh god, the gas is coming in. Right, I think, well, I'm not going to be able to save him. They're going to be watching him. Let's move round to here and see what happens. So 17 people still left at this point. So now I think, well, it was safe before, so I rotate back over to my previous position. I know the other team can't get behind that blue building. There's my teammate slowly bleeding out. I think, well, I need to play it careful now. I need to play it careful. This is very PUBG technique, you know. I've used the defilade of the ground rising in front of me, just to get into a position where nobody's got a direct line of sight of me. I know there's guys over there. There has to be a team over there, because they shot my buddies. So they're going to be somewhere there. In fact, I think I see them, and I fire a rocket at them in a minute. But I don't think it is. I think it's the wheel of the bus. So the circle's coming in. As you can see, I need to move forward. So I think I see a guy crouched in front of that bus. So I think, oh, let's fire a rocket at him. Now remember, whenever you fire rockets or throw grenades or anything, or flashbangs or stuns or anything, one of the good things, even if you don't kill somebody, is that you'll get a hit marker that tells you that you did some good. Now I'm looking over thinking there's not much cover, and things are starting to get a bit tense. So now there's a cluster strike going in, so I know there's definitely teams over in that direction, and I'm thinking, well, I'm going to go to the left. I'm going to rotate round to the left. And this is where I see, I think, is there someone crouching there? And I used my last rocket, didn't get hit mark, didn't get anything, so maybe not. So now I'm moving in, and I'm thinking, okay, where's everybody else? Where's everybody else? I can hear some gunfire. over in that direction and over to the left. Right, so now I saw somebody over to my left on the heartbeat sensor. Now I've got to go. I'm looking for any cover there is. So I think, right, so I see that guy, so I know there's people here. Right, so this is where we go into the end game now. So I know there's somebody to my left. Hip fire with the MP7. Take this guy out. Now I know now that it's me versus 3. And I've had fire from over in that direction. So I reload my MP7. And at this point I'm like, okay. So I see them, I can see all 3 of them running. At this point I know my only hope is the RPG. To blast them with the RPG. So fire one at the rock there. Gas comes in, I have to move, fire another at the rock there. They're all taking cover behind the rock. Splash damage kills them, all of them. Now, let's look at that slowly, because there's a lot going on there. So these guys, I don't know what they're doing, but the MP7, really good up close. It's got the monolithic suppressor on it. That's a big mag. So at this point, I'm like, okay, that's 2 of them out of the way. I know I'll be picking up some rockets and stuff up. And I know it's me versus another team. So this is where the idea of the RPG starts going through my head. I have to use the RPG because I can't kill them all with my machine gun. The RPG has to come into effect. So now I can see where they're going. And I can see the little rocks. I know, and I'm thinking they're going to take cover behind the rocks because they know I have to move. So what I can do is if I fire the RPG at the rocks, the splash damage will damage them. Now you don't really see it here, but that's where I knock one of them, and then I'll zoom in on this bit and you can kind of see it maybe a little bit better. So I just aim straight at the biggest rock. There goes the RPG, it hits, bang, kills them. And there we go, the Warzone victory. So I could not see them, but I knew they would be probably taking cover behind those rocks. And sometimes what happens is, in the heat of battle, they might not have known it was 3 versus 1. You know, they might not have looked in the top right hand corner to see who was left in the game. It might have all been a bit much. And when that first RPG came in and knocked one of them, it could have knocked some of the armour off the others. So they were thinking, right, let's armour up and then let's move in. But there we go. Hopefully that video was useful. If it was, hit the like button, subscribe if you want to see more of the same. And I'll see you again soon.